Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm sorry I've been missing. I've wanted to do videos for you, but it's been kind of a mad dash come into my scrap room and get a project done and get out. I'm having issues with my back again. I've got to go in and get another injection, and I've been getting injections now in my hips too. So just good times here. So I haven't been in my scrap room as much. I've been making cards, but I haven't been making videos. Like, I've been making what I need to make. Hence, it is Thursday night at 11 o'clock, and I'm making Father's Day cards. So I figured I was making one, so I might as well make three. So I'm making one for my uncle, which is right here. I spend a lot of time with my uncle. I have two uncles, and I love them both equally. But only one of my uncles has kids, so he's a father. So my other uncle has a cat. I guess that could count. I could make him a cat Father's Day card after. So I wanted to make my uncle a card. So I'm making the same card 3 times, which is this card right here. And I definitely wanted to do a video because I found some things that in making this card that you probably should be aware of if you want to make this card. So you guys are going to be so proud of me. Not only did I make the cards, well, we're going to make one together. I made 2 and we'll put one together. I made the bag. I used Emma's stamps to do this. And I used this one right here, which is Lost at Sea. I'm sorry, the lighting's kind of horrible. And I used the Happy Father's Day there. And then I used Thanks for the Lift. And I just used the heart right there. That's the heart that I used. And on my uncle's card, which I will show you in a second, I used the Here's Looking at You, and I used the Happy Father's Day, and I used the word uncle. So those are my stamp sets that I used today. So I decided to make a bag, and you guys would be so proud. I have a couple oopses on here, and I'm still going to give it to my stepdad. I missed and tried to do it again, but normally, you know, I try to do it perfect, and I'm like, no, it's homemade. It has these idiosyncrasies, and that's cool. And you know what? In all honesty, not even going to notice. He's not going to notice. Okay, so here's the card, and I'll show you the inside because I just showed you that. So this is Happy Father's Day, Uncle. So, yeah. So I spend a lot of time with my aunt and uncle, so I wanted to make something. And now I feel bad because I didn't make something for her for Mother's Day. Okay, so if you come in and you're making this card, it's going to, this is what it's going to cut right here. And then it's going to cut all of the colored pieces, okay? So you're going to use your Antiquity set and use your Midnight marker, which will do thanks. Thank you is underlined under here, like this. So this is what it writes when you use the Midnight pen right here. This is everything it writes. So it writes everything the same on my version. This is Cricut's version, and this is my adapted version, I guess you could. I wanted to say corrected, but it's not really corrected, I guess. So this one, the problem I had with this is I thought it made spaces for the arrows to go. And no, it made all of these random, like... Oh, come on. There we go. It made all of these random dot holes. And of course, you can see them. They're like pinpricks. You can see them on the back. And there is no point to them. Because if you look, there's one up here. And there's no arrow here. Here, the arrow would be over too far. Down here, you kind of could put the purple one there, I guess. And over here, there's nothing. So what I did, and I didn't like, as you can see, you cut out the blue thanks, which goes over this. That's the same on both cards. So the changes that I made were, I made this piece. This is the one we're going to do. I made this piece to be 5.5 by 4 1/4. So that's what I did with this piece. So it's just a rectangle that's 5.5 by 4 1/4. So it's not a whole card, so I can kind of save on paper a little bit. And then what I did was I went in and I detached everything. So I just moved the thanks, thank you, thanks, you were the best. I just slid them over to my new rectangle right here. And then I left this alone because it already cut this. So the difference that I made really on the front is I don't have the holes. And then I took the word thank you, I duplicated it, and then what I did, I made one cut here and one right. So you can see on mine, I put them in basically to save us time. I don't know if you can see, but see it's outlined there. So you can see the outline. So I took the word and put it on. Oh, hello. There we go. So that's what I did. So I detached everything. I moved everything over to my rectangle, and I kind of looked at the one that I had here to be a guide, and then I just attached everything again, and I just duplicated this. So you go from this right here to this when it comes out, and then you put on all the colored pieces here. So I hope that makes sense. It does make a 5.5 by 4 1/4 card, and let me just show you. And unfortunately, I'd cut out 3 of these before. So that's what you would want to do. I decided, and just also to let you know, when this arrow cuts out here, the polka dotted arrow, this I put on, what was the setting? Cardstock solid core. It says 20.27 millimeters after it, I think. That was the only way I could get this to cut. It would not cut. It would not cut all the dots. I tried cutting it on an intricate cut because that's what I did for this arrow up here to get it to cut right. That arrow worked great on intricate cut. This arrow right here, I had to do on the cardstock solid core, 0.27 millimeters, I think, or 27 millimeters, or whatever it was. Everything else cut fine on the cardstock setting, but those 2 arrows were kind of troublemakers. So I wanted to tell you about that. I wanted to warn you about the pin dots that are all over the card if you make the card from the file. So I would suggest hitting customize right here on the bottom, and then you can go in, and if you want to do the same thing, you can make a rectangle and then just move everything over if you want to, but definitely change your settings. And maybe it's just my paper, that's the way it cut, but that's how it worked for me. So, okay, so we can leave this alone now. We'll get rid of that, turn it off so I can save my battery. It was fun to do a Cricut card tonight. I haven't done one in so long, and there's really no reason. I've been doing a lot of digi images, which digi for me, because I know how to do it, is easier to do in the Silhouette Studio. So that's one of the reasons you haven't really seen this. And the other reason, like I said, is I have not been feeling well and up to doing like cards for fun. I started out doing some, and then something about something in a hand basket. HE double hockey sticks in a hand basket, basically. So that's what happened. So I just dot on my glue here, and I apologize again that it's at night, but I really wanted to share those tips with you about cutting. And like I said, yours may not do it, but all the other cuts were superb. So I'm like, it's not my blade, because if it was my blade, it would be all of them. So now some of these little arrows you may choose to do through a Xyron. For me, I can usually get a little enough dot of glue, now that I'm saying it, I won't, that I can, push through as my glue tries to escape me. And so we'll go ahead and see if I can get this lined up this time. My other one was a little crooked, so it's kind of nice. Even though I'm sitting behind a tripod, I can just look on the screen, and to me that looks pretty straight. So we're gonna go with it. And if not, it's handmade. It's quirky. It has a personality. A personality. Okay. So now remember, I get a little weird at night sometimes. Now the only thing I wish I would have moved this down just a smidge or this up a smidge. So, but that's the only thing that I wish that I had done a little different, because when I get here to put my arrow, it gets a little dicey. It covers it up just a little bit, just a scotch. So, but that's okay. that's okay. And this holy one here, I just kind of put glue all over the area and then just kind of go with it. Because I think this dries clear. Doesn't say. I think it dries clear. I don't know. I've never really had the reason to see it dried. Like on a project, because usually I make sure that, a little piece of hair off there, that my glue stays where it's supposed to. So, alright. Woo! This glue is like coming to life. I don't know if this is what happens in my scrap room when I'm not in here. Do all my scrap tools come like to life and just like freak out, or what's going on here? Okay, now I was trying to move that and it didn't want to. Let's see. Okay, I think that's good. Let's see. Yeah, I can live with that. Okay, so now the fun ones. These are the easy ones. I like these. Now, if you sat down and did this straight through and did one of these cards, I would guess if you had all your materials, I would probably say it would take you like 10 minutes to cut it out. And I would say it's, you know, if you're cooking along, and it depends on if you do the thank you like I did, if you cut it out like I did. So if you do that, the cutting out is probably going to take, I'd say 10 minutes to cut everything out if you're doing one card. And then I would say it probably takes another 10 to put it together, because this kind of slows you down and the inside of your card kind of slows you down. So, you know, it takes little. So yeah, so I made one for my stepfather and I made one for my son's dad, baby daddy, and I made one for my uncle. So I don't speak to my father anymore. So hence the reason I do not send him a card. And I shouldn't have done that, what I just did. But I realized it too late and I had already ripped it off. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure it's going in the right direction. And then we're going to kind of line it up here. Okay. Make sure that's flat and that's flat. And okay, and I'm trying a new adhesive this evening. My friend Joe sent it to me. I actually should probably line it up down here and then line it up at the top, I guess. Now I've got to figure out, because unfortunately I pulled the wrong one off. So I think this is pretty good. So what we're going to do is come in here. These tweezers are just invaluable. I don't know how anybody functions without tweezers in crafting. Make sure I have it going in the right direction before I pull all the tape off. It doesn't hurt to check your work a lot. It's better than saying, whoops, a lot, you know? You don't want to waste your supplies. Craft supplies are expensive. So it's better to be paranoid and double check and triple check and all that checking than to waste something. All right, so we're going to pull this little puppy off here. And I'm hoping that once I get my injections, I will be able to craft more, because I want to craft more. And it's therapeutic, and it's good for me, it's good for my back. Well, besides the sitting. But it's good because it's a stress reliever, because I don't think about anything when I'm in here. Just the biggest thing I'm worried about is, does it line up? Does the paper match? You know, so it's very healthy for me. It's my way of checking out, you know, for a little bit from everything going on. And I've had a lot of family stuff I've had to go to too, and graduations and all kinds of stuff. And I felt bad I didn't make a video on that. So, this glue, I'm going to let it run off with a circus because it keeps falling over. So here's our card, and I just wanted to give you, like I said, I wanted to give you those tips and just show you the cute little card. And, you know, it's a little different, but that's okay. They're arrows. They're supposed to be a little wonky. And I apologize it's dark and the lighting's not the best that it could ever be, but So here are my cards. Like I said, this is the card that if you cut it out with the Cricut, this is the card that you get. You still get all the colored layers that you see here. You just don't get this black layer. And you get little dots all over your page for some reason that I don't understand. So that's why I did it this way. And I'm very happy with how it came out. And also my card opens like portrait. It's portrait, and this one, I don't remember. I'm having brain issues. This one opens top to bottom. There we go, top. Oh wait, no, bottom to top. Okay, now I don't even need to know that. And this one, this is vertical, this is horizontal. There we go, I have descriptions. Okay, so I will list the supplies on my blog at www.crazycatladycraft.blogspot.com if you'd like to check out the supplies. And I hope you give this card a try because it's super cute. And as you see, a thank you card can be used for more than just a thank you. Have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.